Hey, what's up guys, Lindsay here. I've got right here the Black Monday Murders #7. Now, I just kind of picked this up randomly just because the cover is pretty dope. It's got like an old school horror movie feel to the cover, and I was, that's right up my alley, so I was like, let me check this out. It's by Jonathan Hickman. We start off and we're in the Federal Building. I knew nothing about this going in, so everything... Dude, this comic is great. So we have two characters here. They're going to the Federal Building. They meet with the woman, and we find out this guy's name is Dr. Gaddis, and this is Detective Dumas. They go up to this woman. They're like, she asks if they have an appointment. You'll know it's serious when the doctor is lowering his glasses like that. That's how you know people with glasses. That's how you know they're being real. And he says, not with the one above, but the one below. Like, almost every page in this, it just keeps building my interest in it. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, that's interesting. What? It's just so much. There's a lot going on in this, exposition-wise, I think, and plot-wise. But it's never boring. It's just always intriguing. And then that's the first sign that this is a little bit wild. Not with the one above, but the one below. And she's got this knowing smile. This sort of looks traced to me, but I can't really tell because it's definitely was drawn digitally, but I think it might have been traced, and that's always kind of disappointing with me. And of course, our homeboy doctor, he spits a quote at her. As all men do in that quiet moment when souls are battered and lives hang in the balance. This is that moment, and we come to trade. And you can tell the detective he's got no clue what is going down right now. So he says that quote to her. And she says, "You have coin?" You see what I'm saying? It's like every panel, it just is like, what? What is going on? I'm into this. He has to have coins for both of them. And she says, "In the future, you should know, those aren't the words we use anymore. Times have changed." So that lets you know that whatever shady stuff is going on here, it's been going on in the Federal Building for years and years and years. So much so that the password has been changed. Wow. That's just like a little small way of letting you know the longevity of whatever's going down has been. She gets up. They start following her down a hallway. This architecture, you can tell, gets a little gothic. See, when you see a building and starts turning to stone, you should be evacuating immediately. Nothing good comes from old school stone buildings. You see the architecture, it's all stone now. It's not, a regular building. Well, I mean, columns aren't really, but I feel like columns in government buildings, we expect it, sort of. So when you see these kind of gothic arches and all stone, it's like, oh my god, we're going in the bowels of the Federal Building, which somehow is very exciting. Who would have thought? Even getting to the end of the hallway in the door, and she says, "This is where most men start to hear voices. Turn around," they whisper. "Go back." What? Oh my god, dude. So she's like warning them, but it's not really malicious, but it's just saying, Ugh. Then we get this page and we see what's beyond that door. Said, "Yeah, I get that." The detective is basically us. He's just going along for the ride with the doctor. And look at this panel. It's just so great, and it's so dark. You can really feel like the atmosphere of it. And you see everything is just a stone edifice, and we have stairs leading even further and further down. Which, when I'm looking at this, it makes me think. Just think of how long ago this was built, because there's not even any stair railings. Now me, when I use the stairs, I don't ever really use the railing, because I've never fallen down the stairs. I'm not a dumb person in a movie. If you fall down in a movie, down the stairs, you're dead. I've seen that many movies to know that that's the case. You're definitely dying. It could be 5 stairs. If you fall down 5 stairs in a movie, you're donezo, dude. It's over. Especially a horror movie. Come on. And you know what? You can't use the elevator in a horror movie either. You can't win. Never go. Stick to one level of everything in a horror movie. So you're learning from me. But you see this and like these kind of stairs. You know what? I would need the railing. I could probably make it down, but Jesus Christ, give me the railing. And then I'll just show this one. There's a bunch of pages that are an email transcript. And you know, it's sort of interesting, but it's probably more interesting if you've read the first 6 issues. So for me, it just added a little bit of intrigue to the whole thing, but you know, I'm skipping because those copyright gods from below, you know how they be. And then we see after they go down the stairs, we see this sort of almost like a castle. It's almost like a castle down in the depths of the federal build. That's the crazy thing. This is all like if you needed more government conspiracies. Holy shit. And the detective says, "What in the ever-loving hell?" The doctor knows, he knows everything that's going on. And you see this red light illuminating from these windows? Don't ever go anywhere that's illuminated by red light. It's never good. You're gonna die. Even if it's a dark room for developing photos, you'll die. Because that red light is bad news. You can see this gate here? Oh, and this fella. And we see this guy who has terrible posture. Imagine seeing this for the first time. And there are 3 people seeing this, and 2 of them are chill, and you have to keep it together and act like you're not completely in terror from seeing a giant hunchback creature that's blindfolded, who can't even speak, maybe? She says 2 for an audience. This is her job. What the hell? What kind of secretary? What is going on? You gotta get your posture together, dude. Evil should have good posture. Right? Because good posture is sort of like scary. Like when someone has really good posture, it's like, hey, what's the deal here? You made some deals? You made some deals with the devil? The older one paid for both of them. Yo, it'd be cool if you could like focus. He offered coin. And she feeds the coins to this guy. And you know, if I had to eat coins, I feel like a blindfold would help. Because if I'm seeing how shiny they are, it's going to be harder. If I don't even see them, I could just swallow them like that. Like, no problem. Put me on Fear Factor. I'll eat all the nickels. And he eats the coin. It turns out they're Aramaic, which, God, dude, whenever somebody brings in some Aramaic, you know it's going to get real. If you don't know, Aramaic was the language of Jesus. It's a dead language. It's, you know, anytime anyone brings up Aramaic, we know we're talking about Jesus stuff, and that just it brings everything up to a whole nother level. Down here, mention Jesus, boom, up here, suddenly. You see what I'm saying? Everything's building. We see a castle. We see this guy who's got some hardcore scoliosis. He eats a coin and he mentions Aramaic. The coins are Aramaic. It's like, how did the doctor get Aramaic coins? That doesn't seem like an easy get. Just everything is building on top of each other. And the coin just makes him light up. He almost looks like an alien here. That's why, you know what? That's why he's got to wear the blindfold. Because that's too much red light for anyone. And they talk about the rules of what they're about to do. The face of God is mighty and terrible. You have paid for an audience with him which will last until it ends. Only he knows when that time is, but when it is over, it is over. The deal is done. After that, there will be no more questions. There will be no more answers. The detective, we're right along with him, not knowing what is going on. So the doctor tells him, enough, you are wasting time. We do not have detective. And the girl and You know what? That kind of looks like the monster from like Gerald's Game, that movie. You know what I'm saying? Here's all you need to know about what follows. Watch, listen, and above all else, remember. Oh, I didn't catch that. I didn't catch that the first time I read it. It's like, what? Why? Is there some sort of, voodoo that makes you forget about what you see? For we witness infernal things. And this is what is in the castle, basically the underground castle of the federal building of the United States. Let's see, contestant number 1 is a guy who kind of looks like a hammerhead shark with red eyes, but he's chained up. Kind of looks like he could be an Aquaman villain. This lovely couple who takes color coordination to a level I have never seen. Apparently they're trying to get married by this guy who, it's a very impressive study. But I gotta wonder if he's read those books. Sitting at what, it's probably a desk made from the cross that Jesus was crucified on, the way this comic is going. And this guy over here who has a staff that is a skull with antlers, and this guy's the most normal looking guy here. I mean, if you exclude these two, because they're humanoid obviously, but this guy, he looks like he could be your friend if you're not afraid of Dracula capes and shirt ruffles and his staff that I have to imagine he brings everywhere. And we get a close-up on this guy. Look at the floor. It's like, imagine if Colton's Steakhouse had bones. This is it. Oh, and what if this is some sort of argument, like when they're not having an audience with people who pay coin, it's God, Mammon or Mammon. He's like, can you guys, I'm all the way up here at my desk, could you please just pick up after yourselves? And they're just like, nope, 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 nope. Nobody wants to clean up their own mess. It's just like, that's a lot of people. Imagine if they're baby bones. That's a lot. Wow. That's like quadruple the amount if that's just all baby bones. And then we see him. And he's got a ram skull, but I feel like sort of ram skulls, like you expect to see them. If you're encountering the devil or you're in hell, you're gonna see some ram skulls. You're gonna see some demons with some ram skulls. And I don't want to say it's cliche, but it's not that surprising. But it works. Ram skulls. Top 10 skulls of all time? Top 10 at least, because they got the curly horns. And most things don't have horns like that. They're very impressive. And also very menacing when there's no flesh on them at all. I've got a couple more email transcripts I'm going to skip. There's also a little side story of some other characters that just ramps up how massive the world of this comic is, but this part right here is what we want. If you want to see any of that, go buy this. I'm probably gonna get on the other issues because this is only 7 and there's a lot going on here. And just in case you forgot, this little panel here just reminds me that we're at the federal building on at almost 3 p.m. Imagine seeing this guy at 3 p.m. No. This guy, I gotta meet him at night. Maybe he's even spookier at night, so no. He speaks some sort of his own language. And the thing that translates him is the skull staff. Oh my god, dude. And look at his wardrobe. Does he have a tailor? Got the matching bow tie with the boutonniere, and this guy's over here, he's got his cloak and his ruffles. You know, I feel like the stereotype of demons is that they're poorly dressed. But let's flip that. I'm liking that they're well dressed. It's spooky. When someone's well dressed and they have good posture, get the fuck out of wherever you are. It's not good. And this guy is sort of, oh, see the hammerhead look I was talking about? You know, that's just me projecting, but, you know. And he's always threatening not to terriate. There's a history of hesitant beasts. It's not fair. I feel like the way he speaks is like, Just, ugh. It's got like piranha teeth. So basically they have a short amount of time to ask the question. So the doctor says, well, are you really a god? And basically he says, it is all mine, all of it. The entire world. Fuck, dude. Oh my god, what? What is going on here? So much stuff. So he asked some questions about some schools, which are basically, he has schools that feed him. Man is my seed, and they are the true reflection of my nature, so they worship themselves, and in doing so, me, eternal consumers. It is as it always was, as it will always be. As such, man pleases me, and my schools please me most of all. So the doctor asks how many schools there are. He says 6, and the papacy. Oh my god. Okay, if you don't know, the papacy, it just deals with Pope stuff. Like Papal. That just deals with Pope stuff. So wow, we're in an American government building talking with a god demon creature who basically has churches, it seems, and is also involved in the Catholic Church, which is one of the oldest institutions in the world. And also, you could argue, the most nefarious. And he's in on it. Oh, there once were 8, so even more schools of worship for this guy. But somehow they've hidden them, and he talks more about how there were other gods, but they no longer exist. So it's possible to hide things from this god. So the doctor says, so they can act outside your will and you wouldn't know, you wouldn't have any idea. And it's, wow, that is truly mind-boggling, because he's literally touching the temples of his head, trying to contain the information. So he's asked all of his questions that he's allowed with his Aramaic coin, and then our boy, Detective Dumas, he just wants simple answers. He doesn't want to know about this whole earth-shattering stuff. Who killed Daniel Rothschild? My disciples are hidden from me. Yeah, but you know, don't you? Wow, what kind of god? What kind of god are you if you can't tell me who murdered a guy? So they explain that they can't really see a murder, but they can see energy, and they find out that Victor Oresco killed him. A spoiler or whatever. Yeah, I don't know who that is, but probably this is him, so he can't be trusted, I feel like, because he's got blood splatters and he's an old man with a giant torso tattoo that kind of looks like an unknown Pokemon, but whatever. So this guy's like, your time's up. But of course the doctor is the one who knows about this, so he wants more questions. And he says, he'll pay. You have already paid. I'll pay more. Ooh, you don't want to get mixed up? You don't want to get mixed up in this, man. Come on. He agrees. He only gets 2 questions, and he looks pretty smug. Or okay with knowing that there's going to be consequences here. What causes a market crash? See, this comic, just when I think it's going to zig, it zags. So much is going on. We're in the federal building. We're going down spooky corridors into a castle deep in the bowels of the federal building. There's a demon in there who is God, who apparently is involved with major other international organizations and churches, and also knows who killed the guy. You know, Detective Dumas. He just wants to know. He just wants to know the little things. And then we bring in what causes a market crash. I would have never thought that would be into it. So he replies, when I wake I hunger, and when I hunger I consume. So man pays until my hunger subsides. So he says, please list every market crash you've caused in the last 150 years. So he lists some, And this guy has a hardcore realization. And he's still realizing things. And you can tell that something's going to go bad because this red light, you know what I'm talking about? That red light. And her happy couple grab him and are pulling him into the pile of bones, which you put a couple bones on your floor, you need to get that in check because you're just going to end up with a huge pile of bones. And you know what? They're not going to degrade. That's the whole thing. That's the whole reason we have CSI people. Now he pays Man of Spirit the full price. So they're clawing at him, and he says 1987. Mammon, I like Mammon better than Mammon, didn't cause the market to crash. Something else did. Someone else did. So if this wasn't even spooky enough, the detective is going towards him to try to help, and we see just hands coming out of the bones. That's why you gotta clean your bones. That's why you can't put bones on the floor, because you get demon hands coming out of there with, pretty good polished nails. Someone manufactured a crash and got away with it. And Mammon didn't see it coming. Somebody caused a market crash, which is already in itself unbelievable. But did it without God knowing about it? God didn't see it coming. And he gets crunch, crunch, crunch. I'm sure he's fine. And then we get a couple more email transcripts, and we see some other people who are involved with the plot. But not this part. This comic, dude. I am so surprised at how good it was. The art, too, the use of the color. It's so dark, and it's just... I have nothing to say but good. Only good things about this. And, the reason I got this is because in December, my comic shop was doing a buy 3, get 1 free, and I was just sort of looking at random stuff, and I saw this cover, and I was like, yes. That's what's good about the comic shop. You just go there, and some of these don't even know what you're going to get, and you get something just dope. And this is only issue 7. There's a lot of stuff going on here. It's like I'm scared to read other issues, because I love this so much. You know what I mean? Ugh.